You're starting.
No, you're starting. I just
You're
said
starting.
I called it.
You're
I
starting.
started last time. No, I started last time.
You're starting.
No.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to On the Lamb podcast. Nitty fun place. I'm so out of it. I don't even know. What do we do here? What do we talk about? I'm pretty sure we talk about Beyblades because we just spent 40 minutes talking about Beyblades before we recorded.
40 minutes of just Beyblades. It was 40 minutes of parenting that ended in like 10 minutes of Beyblades.
I'm NalediS.
I'm Tamu.
So welcome to the podcast, or welcome back. Thanks to everyone who has been engaging with us. We've had someone showing us stuff on Instagram, their whips that they've been doing, a little bit of chitter chatter in our group, comments on someone said have fun on our trip, which we did. We went camping near North Bay, Ontario, because we are, as I forgot to say, from, what do we usually say?
Southern-ish
Ontario, right? And we went to North Ontario. So, northish, yeah, more north than what I already am.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a really hot trip. So stinking hot. Took my family several days to recover at home. Morgan, I don't think I told you this. Morgan had a fever for a couple of days after he got home.
Yeah, he did.
Dehydrated. Yeah, he likes to drink his water with a straw. So if he can't drink with a straw, he just sips a little bit. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like this to get spilled on. He's a very texture sensitive person, and sensation sensitive person. So anyway, he was a little bit dehydrated by the time we got home, and took him a couple days to get back on track. But
yeah, I think the same for us. Like, I feel like we got back on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, everybody in my house slept in, and
it was so hot. The weather app that we use had heat advisories for every day, and days even leading up. The day we were supposed to be going, it was so hot.
So damn hot. And that trip on the way there, just because of it was a long weekend, it was Canada Day weekend, so happy belated Canada Day to all the Canadian people, and belated 4th of July, because that happened after we got back. But yeah, so it was long weekend traffic for us a lot of the way there, and so it's so hot. We had the air conditioning going, but still we had to make a few stops for food or for bathroom breaks and stuff like that, and just going from the air conditioned car, and you opened the door and it was opening the oven into your face. It was just blasted with heat. And I feel when we were at the campground, because one thing I noticed was the car in the city area on the way there said 90 Fahrenheit. And by the time we got to the campground on the same day, yes, it was a little later in the day, but it was down to 78 Fahrenheit or something. So it was definitely cooler because you're closer to the water, and not having buildings and so many people around and electricity running everywhere, and all that kind of stuff. But so I feel out of our whole trip, there was only one day that was deathly hot, where when we were all just sitting in the chairs, and I was I don't even want to move, and I'm not moving, and I can feel sweat just pouring out of my body. I was I'm not doing anything, and I'm sweating so much.
Yeah.
And I think that was the day we had the kids down to the lake to swim 3 times, because it was just you get them out, feed them, and then be what do you want to do now? All right, go back to the water, because it's just too hot to do anything else.
I love that. That's the first hot camping weekend. Let's not digress this place too long, but that was the first hot camping weekend we've had since having kids, I think. So we've had hot summers because we've been camping every year since I was 2 or something, but we've had hot summers before, obviously, but this is the first in a long time that it's been that hot that you actually want to spend. Usually when we go camping, it's okay, well, we better just go swimming because we're here. But
and most years it's the kids go in the water and I'm wearing long sleeves. I'm you're insane if you think I'm gonna swim in there, because it's because I don't mind going in the water, but I want it to be warmer out of the water than in the water, so that you cool off in the water, and when you come out, you like start to dry off right away, and you don't start to shiver right away.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this was like probably the first year that I was like, okay, I could see swimming, even though I didn't really. Like waded around a little and was like, and I'm out.
Yeah, it was too shallow for my body to swim. Like I had to like get down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
I don't like that feeling of like the muck in your bathing suit anymore. Like as a kid, it was like you never really thought about it until you were changing later, and now I'm just like, I can't sit around in the shallow water because all I'm thinking about is sand in my cracks. Like
my sister, as is my second child, very sensitive to textures and sensations. Yeah. Yeah.
Not all the time, but it's like once I notice something doesn't feel good on, like, it's like all the nerve endings in my body like activate simultaneously, and then I'm like, okay, like now I'm in an oversensitive place and I can't relax. Like last night trying to fall asleep, I was saying I was having a really hard time falling asleep, and one of the problems was I just kept like, it was like something made me itchy, and then I was like, oh, now I'm itchy over here. Now I'm itchy over here. Like, it's like all the nerves in my body are just like, they can feel the sheets touching me. They can feel my pajamas. They can feel my youngest next to me, like tickling me with his hair. And I was just like, ugh, like my whole body just feels like it's crawly and like that. Anyways.
Generally all have something.
Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, if this is your first time here, we like to tell stories. Anyhow, yeah, we had a great time. Thanks for all the engagement that we've had over the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. A few new subscribers, I think.
Yeah, a few new people. So yes, welcome to you guys. Yeah. So, what are you wearing?
I am wearing a very old knit. Not very old, an oldish knit. And I meant to look it up, and I didn't. See if I can find it.
Okay, well, I'm wearing, I don't need to look it up. This is an FO that I'm wearing. My Wonder Woman wrap. This did not take me long to get through. I was very monogamous, so I'm pretty sure. Is that true? I think sometimes I would go and do other things because I was like, oh, I felt like guilty that I wasn't working on some of the test knits for you. But otherwise, like, I was quite monogamous with this beautiful thing. So this is a free pattern. The designer is Carissa Browning. It's fun to go look at you could either go to Ravelry and look at other project pages, or Instagram, follow the tags, because some people, I mean, like Tamu bought me this yarn and she bought the same colors as what the designer used. But other people have, like, you know, my other favorite one is, I think I love this one because it's like, I fell in love with like original Wonder Woman, but I love this other knitter did use like the colors from the newest Wonder Woman movie, and I really like that as well. But some people use like just whatever, like blue and pink together or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I think I told you one of my favorite ones. It was a yarn store in Toronto, and now I can't think of which one, but they did two. They did one in those colors, and one in black and gray.
Oh, okay, yeah, you did.
So I think the gray was where the red is, and the black was where the yellow is.
Okay.
So it like really made the black kind of stand out, but still be like sort of subtle. And I was like, oh, I really like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I like the red and yellow, but I just feel like I wouldn't wear it. I feel like when you had it wrapped around now, I was like, oh, those colors actually look really good on you.
Yeah, they didn't look bad. I was a little bit nervous at first as well, but it's nice. Like this, so the yarn was Knit Picks.
Mm-hmm. I think it was the Stroll fingering, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't bring the tags up, but yeah.
Might be Goldenrod and
something. Oh yeah, what are the names? Maybe I'll plug it at the bottom just to say, because I don't think I ever mentioned that before. But it's nice, like they're very tonal. Mm-hmm. I think at first when I was knitting it, I wanted it to be more like this. These are my Wonder Woman socks. This is also my podcast whip. I wanted it to be like this solid and super vibrant, but that wouldn't wear as well around your neck, you know, like this. Just, yeah, I actually really, really like this. This is my first time wearing it. But I think it looks not bad. Of course, you wouldn't wear it with like, it's not a neutral. You have to pair it properly with something, but yeah, I think I will get some good use out of this Sweet shawl. Did I put it on upside down? I don't even know.
Have you blocked it yet?
No, I haven't. That's the only thing. It's going to grow. It's going to be a lot longer. Right now, the depth looks like the we. But
yeah.
It's long, but it'll.
But you did the large version?
I did the wondrous version, yes.
Is that the bigger?
That's the bigger version.
Okay.
I thought that was cute because she called it the Wonder Woman wrap. And you can either do the size we or wondrous. All the W's. That's funny, when I first posted the picture of me working on it, like I was so close to being done, I hashtagged it WW wrap. And I clicked into it and it's all these people with like their food. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, whole wheat wraps.
Oh, I was like, what's a WW wrap? I was like trying to think, is this like a chain in the States that we don't know about or something?
It's just like whole wheat foods and stuff. All right, changing the hashtag. Wonder Woman wrap. Oh, okay, that's right. That's the hashtag.
I love when people do that. Like someone will knit a sweater, I'll be like, oh, I wonder what that pattern is. And then it's like, you kind of look through their hashtags and try to figure out. But if they just do like if you hashtagged it Wonder Woman, but you didn't put wrap on the end, it's like obviously a majority of the posts wouldn't be the wrap. It would just be Wonder Woman. So people will do it. And then it's like the majority of the posts are like a location or, something like not related at all.
Right.
What happened there?
Right.
Because people use words for things other than knitting patterns.
Right? There's a world outside of knitting, what? And parenting?
A little bit, but not really. Okay, so Mime wearing.
Oh, goodness. That's funny.
Oh, gosh. I am wearing... I think I ended up calling it the gummy bear vest because this colorway was called gummy bear. It's dyed by Atomic.
Oh, look at that. It's like, what a cool like pooling on the back. It's like a cross. That's
well, when I started knitting with it,
X on the cross.
Yeah. So you can maybe see it's a single ply DK. I don't recall what needle size or anything that I used, but I think I'd gotten 3 skeins of this yarn from, I think her business is now Atomic Fiber Company. Of course, I just had it. Now it's gone.
Canadian?
No, she's from the States. She used to be Atomic Blue, but now I think it's just Atomic. Yeah, Atomic Fiber Company. Sarah. So yeah, I think this is her Posh DK base. I think it's just a merino nylon, but a single ply construction. And the skeins were like mostly that tonal gray with like a small section of these 3 colors there. And I thought it was a bit more regular, so I actually wanted it to pool. I was hoping it would like do something. And so when I knit the back and it did pool, I was like, oh, okay, it's poolable. So, or pool, I mean, anything can pool, but pooled into a pattern. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can like keep this going. So I played around with it so much, trying to get the front to like do something, but it's like, she specifically said at some point after I posted it that she's like, oh, she had dyed it so they weren't regular sized sections. Like she was trying not to get it to pool like that. So it was just like coincidence that it did that on the back. Anyways, so I had posted about it in March 2017. So I obviously finished it around that time. But I think this was like my first real like experiment with trying to design something garmenty. And I don't
Oh, it's your design.
have a lot of garment designs, but it was like I just had this vision in my head of what I wanted it to be, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go for it. So the back is that same stitch pattern that I used in my work end shawl.
Okay.
So it was the first time I used that stitch, and I really like it. So what I did was just like knit the back into that like racer back kind of shape, and then I picked up along the side and then like cast it on some more to make an armhole, and then like picked up across the top and then like did the same. So this one so when I knit the front, I kind of knit it like continuous, and then I just like finish off the front and then came back and finished off the front on the other side. So it's pretty like you could just do it. Unless you were very specific about, because their armholes are pretty big, which is not usually a style I like, but like over a t-shirt, I think it's fine. Yeah, but it's funny because.
Is that a published pattern?
No. And it was like, I did it. And then I think I like sort of chickened out of doing anything more with it. Like I was like, I don't know if it's good, and I don't know if anybody would like it.
I want it, and especially when I know it's your design, I definitely want to knit it.
I don't even know. I'd have to like dig through some notebooks and see if I even like have really notes on what I did. I mean, it would be relatively easy to like recreate it because, as I said, it's pretty simple. Like the back is just kind of like a rectangle, and then like coming in and whatever. But anyways, yeah.
I would totes wear that.
That's my gummy bear vest. And gummy bear only because that was the name of the colorway and I had no other good name ideas. Yeah, so it's the first time I've actually worn it. Because that's the other thing is like, I had like a hard time for a very long time about wearing any of my knits. Like sometimes I would wear them, but it would be like really like plain or benign kinds of things. Like I would make like mittens and then I'd wear them. Like,
yeah.
Can't really tell the difference between, sometimes can't really tell the difference between like hand knit mittens and store-bought mittens. And I really had a hard time about wearing things that I've made until more recently. Like on the weekend, I was wearing my Maple Buds top, that linen and silk blend top, over a dress. It looked totally cute, exactly how I wanted it to look. And I meant to take pictures, and of course I did not. So we'll have to do that at some point with it over the dress because it's, yeah, turned out exactly how I wanted it to. But yeah, like probably a year ago, I would have had a hard time. I wouldn't have been able to do it, especially not in a place where I thought people would actually notice that there was a chance, like that people would recognize that was something I made.
You wore something last summer, your bolero.
But even that, it was like I wore it to like a bigger party. So it's like I knew people weren't really paying attention to like me and what I was wearing, you know what I mean? But even that was like hard to do. Like it's like I get the idea in my head of like, yeah, I want to make this so I can wear it to this place. And then, no, maybe not a year ago, maybe like 2 years ago. But it was like I would get ideas of like, oh, I want to make this thing so that I can wear it. And then I would finish it and either not be totally happy with it because like my skills weren't where I wanted them to be, right. Or I would just chicken out and be like, I don't know, like it was like as if somebody knew that I made it, that would be a bad thing or something. I don't know why.
I still feel weird wearing shawls out. Not really like a scarfy person. I don't know why. But I like as far as like wearing garments and stuff. Like, yeah, I made this. You should ask me.
And it's funny because like I almost feel the opposite. Like it's so easy to wear like shawls and scarves and stuff that like this summer, because it's been so hot that you can't, most days I can't wear anything. I almost feel like I'm missing something. Like I feel exposed now. Like it's like a little protection. Anyways, so that's that. And you're working on your Lordy. Dropsies.
Not entirely planned. I didn't mean to be so wondrous today, but so wonderful today. But just an easy whip. I think I might actually, I feel like I'm a little bit bored with this sock. I might switch.
Are you using the 9-inch circulars for it?
No.
Oh, I couldn't see the cord.
Because I don't want my hands to be in cramps for the rest of the day.
Did you try them?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't think we talked about it.
Yes, we did.
I don't remember that.
It's okay. But anyways, yeah, last week I
started them over again.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't take out the toe, but I added in. I think I added 4 more stitches. I think like 2 and 2. I did all the increases. I'm sure I could just count the stitches and I would know. But yeah, it was like that's how much I got done, and this was only from like the gold to just now into the red. On the way to camping. On the way home, I was working on socks for Tamu. So that's pretty good. You just go round and round in a circle for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if I said it already, but it actually fits the way you'd want a sock to fit on you. And it's warm, but you can't really feel that it's on otherwise.
Cool.
Opposed to feeling like you can't move your foot.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
I am working on a test knit.
Because that's all you do is test knits for other people now.
Apparently. It's getting out of hand. So this is the, hold on, mid row. I'm doing a test knit for Amba. I can't think of her last name.
O'Brien.
I
just got out my accent on that one.
What?
I almost got out the accent for that one.
What accent?
I don't know. Scottish accent. Irish, O'Brien. I don't even know. It would have just been something.
You just added an accent just for fun.
I almost did. Go ahead.
And I don't even think she's not.
I don't think so either.
I think she's like Australian or something, or New Zealand or something like that. So it would have been like the wrong accent for her last name.
But it's O'Brien.
I mean, maybe, I don't know if she's married, so maybe it is the right accent as far as where the last name comes from, but I don't know. Anyways, I saw this one on her feed and I was like, oh, I gotta knit that. Yeah, it's a really like.
Is it secret?
No, I'm just sorry, I'm mid-row.
Oh, right.
It's on her Insta, you can see there's 2 versions of it. So one is a 2-color version like this. So you pick like a solid and then like a speckled or a more bright color. So your solid's like your main color and your bright's your background color or speckle or whatever. And then she also showed a gradient version, I think with 6 colors maybe. So it was like in the background, it would have been like chunks of like background color and then it switches and then it switches like all the way along. No. She just has like flat lays of it because it hasn't been released yet because it's still a test knit.
What, this?
Called the Blaze Shawl.
Oh. Never mind. Hold on.
Hers are like, one's really gray and one's kind of like autumnal. The gradient one's kind of like autumny colors.
That's, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that is like the version I'm doing, 2-color. Hers is just really gray.
Oh, you can't really see the stitch definition there.
No.
Like, got those big tassels.
Yeah, so it's like your options for finishing are like tassels or fringe. I think that was just the 2. Yeah. So the 2 options was like gradient or 2-color, tassels or fringe. And I kind of liked the fringe with the gradient, but I was just like not totally sure I had the right sized minis to make the gradient work. Anyways, so I did the 2-color and I am so happy with it. You have to see it from the reverse because then you can really appreciate how bright my 2nd color is.
How many skeins is the main?
Just one. It's just a two skein shawl. So the main color that I'm using is called Street Style. It's by Punk Rock Unicorn. She's tattooed knitter or tattooed knitter on Instagram. So it's a very pale gray, obviously, and it's really hard to see, but there are speckles of yellow and pink, but they're really teeny. So I figured it would still work as a solid. And I feel like it does. And then my contrast color is a sock blank from Stranded Dye Works. This one's called Not Quite Pinata. So it's her pinata colorway, but I'm not sure why it's called Not Quite Pinata. I don't know what the difference would be between this and the actual pinata. Something obviously was missed, but I don't know what it is. So either way, it is quite obviously very neon, pink, orange, a bit of yellow. Quite bright, and I've had this stashed for a while, and I really was like, okay, I gotta find something to use it for, and I feel like this is perfect because it's still bright. Like, I feel like the finished item is still gonna be bright, but the gray just like tones it down, so it's like it's still bright and fun, but without being like quite so in your face. To me, it's just gonna make it like really wearable. And then with the tassels, because like there should be enough yardage left over to make those tassels, I'm going to put in, I think, more of the bright color than the gray. Kind of do like maybe a 60-40 split. So it's like you really will see the bright color more in the tassels, and that'll just like pick it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm really happy with this one. And it's like super, like I feel like it's a super easy knit. Like this was, I would almost say this is like a beginner shawl because it's very simple pattern to follow and really.
You followed it. Sorry, what drew you in?
Just seeing it on her feed.
They are beautiful pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she has lots of really beautiful shawls and lots of ones that I have like favorited and the odd one that I've picked up here and there. But a lot of hers are a lot bigger and have a lot of like switching sections or big chunks of like a lacy section and then a stripy section that I just like haven't gotten into for whatever reason. Whereas like I like a 2-color shawl that's like a simple pattern repeat. So it's like, you know, you pick it up, you look at the pattern a few times, and then you just go, and then it, you know, kind of knits itself. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Crazy, you would just put it down, and it's like keeps going. Just kidding.
Well, it's not kind of like, it's not quite like that, obviously, but it just like feels like that. Like every time I actually count the stitches, I'm like, oh, I've done 10 more, because we're only increasing every 4th row, I think. So it's like, you know, it's like you're not increasing super fast. It's not growing super quickly necessarily, but every time I count, I'm like, oh, I've done 5 more repeats, or I've done, you know, I've done more than I think I have, kind of thing, because the rows just kind of flow. And no purls, which is really nice.
You had to purl in this for one section.
Yeah. It's not my favorite.
I didn't predict that would happen, but it's like how you, and it's okay because it's a free pattern. I can share this. You like, which part was it? You do this red, then you do the first yellow, then to achieve this part, the first side you knit it, just this chunk. You're leaving all the middle section and the side alone. Mm-hmm. Then you cut your yarns, and she's like, oh yeah, by the way, you come over here and you have to purl. It's not even that much, but it was still a surprise, like this yellow and this red.
Like you just have to like reverse stockinette, like purl all the rows to get it to look harder on that side. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you jerk, you didn't put that in the description, did you? Just kidding. I still would have knit it. It's such a small part, but you know, and you're just like, I was flying with the knitting part. Yeah, anyways. Such a whiner. I am. I've gotten less. Like, I used to be such a complainer. I saw everything like glass half empty for most of my life, I think. Mm-hmm. Like the anything, it could be like, and my kids are kind of the same too. And we're trying to work our way out of it. But a whole day could be like amazing, and one bad thing happens and you're like, it was such a bad day. And now when I hear my kids say it, I'm like, oh, was it the whole day though, or was it just that one moment? And like, can you think of like 3 other awesome things that happened? We're working on it. Yeah.
Reese's new thing is saying that something ruined his whole life.
I know.
So he's at the dentist yesterday. I had to pick him up early. What?
He's got interesting sayings right now.
So there's just been a few things that he's said at home where it's like, can I have a popsicle? And I'm like, well, no, not right now, because we're going to have dinner soon. You're ruining my whole life. And I'm like, really? Not having a popsicle is ruining your whole life? Because I'm pretty sure you've only been alive for 6 years, most of which you can't remember. And I'm like, I don't even think you understand what ruining your whole life means. So anyways, yesterday he's at the dentist. And apparently, because I couldn't hear him the whole time, Miles had asked them to put on a movie out front because they have like a little TV waiting area where they can hang out, where we could hang out while we're waiting for him. Anyway, so I guess he was sitting in the chair and he didn't want to be there. Like he was just not feeling it. Because sometimes he's really good and then he had a filling, so it was like he just wasn't into it. But I guess he kept asking her how much longer it was going to be. And she was really close to the end. So she's like, oh, we're almost done. We just have to do one more little thing and then it's going to be finished. He's like, I've been waiting my whole life. Like, what do you mean? Like, you've been waiting your whole life for this appointment to end? Like, that's not even possible. Anyways, so the dentist loves us because he's always very entertaining. Oh, gosh. Anyways, any FOs?
Wearing it. Wearing it.
Didn't finish anything.
Do you have any FOs? You do, I know.
I do have one FO. And it was funny because I said I hadn't tried it on, but I did actually go and try it on after we were setting up.
Oh, it is that one, because I was like, you were thinking you might not show it. So I was like, is there another FO?
No, that's just it. So this is one of my new designs. So many designs that are on deck. Samples are finished, patterns are half written, and then they just stall out because I'd rather make new patterns than finish old patterns.
No, it's so annoying. I'm like, I wish this is why we need to live together. Another reason why we need to live close, because I would just march over to your house, measure your things, edit the pictures, and put it up.
I can measure the things if you want to do the rest.
Yes.
Actually, there's a free photo editing program too that I can share with you if your computer ones aren't great. Anyway, so this we've decided to call the Wisdom Top. So I think I've talked about, like sort of mentioned it before. It was going to be reverse stockinette, but I think I'm going to go with main stockinette. But I feel like you could very easily switch it inside out and make it however you want. And so it has this triangle, kind of inset triangle pattern.
Yeah, I think, sorry, interrupted you. It would totally depend on your yarn and like what you like, what look you like better, because otherwise it would not matter if it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's really no, it's a top-down kind of raglan construction that's totally customizable. So I will share with you my numbers for my pattern, but ultimately you would have to measure, because I'm going to admit I don't know anything about, what do you call it, scaling a pattern. Like, I don't know how to say, this is a size small and here's how you make it a medium. I know the principle of it. I don't actually know how to execute it because I've never done it before. And I would hate to do it and then people be like, yeah, this is not the right size for me. So instead, it's a little make it up as you go along. So you measure your own arms, measure your own bust, and knit it to the size that you think will fit you. So it'll be written as such. And yeah, it's really easy pattern. I think like a fairly simple, straightforward pattern. And yeah, I really enjoyed knitting it. I really enjoyed working on yours. Yours flew a little faster than this one because this one I made a little bit bigger, but like I knit on the last bit of it at the bottom because it would have been this way at that point. Sitting in front of the campfire when I could barely even see what I was doing. And then I was like a little afraid to check it. Once I got home, I was like, I'm scared to take it out of the bag. What if I missed stitches or dropped something? And it was perfect. The only thing I'm going to do is I am going to rip back the bind off on a whim. I decided to try that garter tab bind off. I don't know why this made sense in my head at the time, but it's a very unstable bind off. Like it looks kind of like a rib. It has that appearance because it's like garter going this way across. So it has the appearance of a rib. And I was like, I'd much rather do this than actually knit a ribbed bind off, which by the time I got about halfway through, I was like, no, I should have just gone with a rib. But now I'm realizing like the reason that you should just go with like a rib or something more stable is because it's so stretchy that it's like, I put it on and everything's good up to that last like inch or two. And then it's like floofy. Yeah. And I was like, I want to look ruffled at the bottom. So I got to figure out what to switch that to.
You said it's the ribbing.
Yeah, I think I'll just do ribbing, but then I still got to figure out what I want the actual like bind off itself to be.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I want it to be, I don't know, like an Icelandic or a tubular or whatever. Because I'm just looking at like the other areas where I bound off and where I cast on, and they just have that like braided edge appearance. So I usually feel like
sewn bind off. That's what I used for this one. Oh,
what?
I love the sewn bind off right now.
Yeah,
that's what I did for this. It looks so
there's
good.
There's certain bind offs that I prefer to work. Like I enjoy the act of doing them, but from a design standpoint, and even from a working someone else's standpoint, I will sometimes switch the bind offs because I like the bind off and the cast on to match as much as possible, or the bind off to go with the stitch pattern. And I'm like, there are certain bind offs that just don't look right with certain stitch patterns. So like for this example, there's certain bind offs that won't look good on the stockinette side and the reverse stockinette side. And so I'm like, if I wanted it to be truly reversible, there's certain bind offs that would be a better choice over others, you know? So I don't know. And most likely for mine, I probably, whatever direction I decide this is the way to wear it, I probably won't ever switch it because my hair makes pilling on the tops of things. And I feel like switching it inside and outside and whatever, it'll eventually just get more chewed up on one side than the other. And I won't like that. But anyways, yeah, I'm really happy with it. And I'm hoping to get that as well as so many others that are on deck out in the near future.
And my next cast on is that top.
Yeah. Oh, and the yarn. So this yarn, I think I might have mentioned it before, but I don't recall, is called Asana Rebel. It's by Casual Fashion Queen, and it's so good. Every time I look at it, I feel like it's like one of those colors that, depending on your mood, depends on what color it is to you that day. So it's like a mood color, like a mood ring. So it's like today I just see the purples and the like royally blues. And other days I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's this like mossy, swampy green. And then other days I look at it and I'm like, oh, all I see is these like light areas. So it's like I get that it's not a pale color, but it just seems lighter than it does other times, you know? Anyways. Okay, other test knit. Oh. My nose is so itchy.
I thought I heard you squeak out a fart.
No, my chair is also like crackling a little bit as I move, but that was the nose itchy noise.
That's all right if you did. It's not smell TV.
Dude. So this is that test knit for Annie at Boho Chic that I was showing you the yarn for. Did I even have it cast on the last time?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, but.
You did not get all that done in 2 weeks, no.
I don't know. I've been working on it kind of feverishly, but yeah, it's going well. I'm quickly approaching the deadline. So I did email Annie to say, I'm not going to make it. I had good intentions, and then I definitely I should have brought it camping and at least left it in the car as car knitting, because it wouldn't have been bad as car knitting, but I was just afraid of having it at the campground because I didn't want nature to get in it with the mohair and stuff. I was like, it's going to be a pain if it falls in the dirt, and I just want it to be looking nice. So yeah, so I didn't bring it camping, which means I lost 5 days almost to work on it. I did work on it quite a bit when we got back, but I still am finding the stitch pattern. It's not a bad knit. And the day before we left, even I don't think I really had a lot of knitting time, period. So yeah, 4 or 5 days. It's not a hard knit. It's nice that the sections repeat, so you definitely get into what the rhythm is, and I don't even really have to look at the patterns to know what the next section is. I just kind of hold it and go, oh right, this is the next color. Oh right, this is the next stitch pattern. And the lace section, for the whole repeat, the whole section, the lace is repeated twice, once in each color. So you definitely just get it all memorized pretty easily. I find anyways, I just am finding between the lace and the mohair, it's really tricky for me to get up to what my normal speed would be. If I was, say, just knitting or just, stockinette or just garter. So that's a bit challenging more to my brain than it is to anything else. It's in my head, I'm I should be able to go faster. I should be able to go faster. I'm no, just relax and knit it, because the more I hold on tight to, I can get faster, I'm slowing myself down, tensing up. So yeah, so that's been a good learning lesson.
I'll bleep this part out. What's the stitch pattern for the mohair?
Just garter.
Yeah, okay.
It's garter, but then because the chevrons.
Do I have to bleep that out, or can you say it?
No, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask you to hold it up too, but then it's well, I guess I don't want people to just study it.
Yeah. Yeah, the mohair, it's not a complicated pattern. And it's like you can see that it has a chevron pattern. So there's obviously like a little bit of counting and lining up those increases and decreases to make that chevron happen. And it's not, again, like knitting with straight mohair, it's not hard. It's just because of the fluff and the lace weight in the middle, you just have to really look closely, I feel like, to catch the stitches properly for the increase decrease parts. Just straight knitting, it's not too bad. It's just not fast. Like, I don't know, maybe somebody else has like some magical tip for how to make knitting with mohair quicker. Because I did hear, like, if you're frogging mohair, apparently putting it in the freezer somehow calms down the fluff, and you can frog it faster. It doesn't catch to itself as easily. I didn't try it, but that's what I heard. Either way, it'll be a really beautiful wrap when it's done, I feel like. I love how bright and fun the colors are. So I think I said this before, but the mohair is shiner on the drift mohair base from Stranded Dye Works. So it's like a gray purple kind of color. The color that reads as white, but when you see it really close or in better lighting, it actually has like flecks of like a dusty kind of purpley color. That is Lavender Love, I think it's called. Yeah, Lavender Love by Punk Rock Unicorn. And the very bright purple is an unnamed one-of-a-kind colorway from River City Knits. So I think they work perfectly together. And it's so cute. And I have no idea what I will ever wear it with, but it's really cute. Anyways, so there's that. And in the realm of test knits, I have another test knit that I'll probably be casting on in the very near future. So I'm trying to quickly-ish get one of these done, at least, so I don't have too many test knits. But Jenny from Sweater Freak Knits, if you go onto her feed, you will see a new pattern that she will have coming out in about a month or so, that I was like, I have to knit that. And I just like testing it. It's fun. It makes me actually finish things. Anyway, so I think I made it on her list because she was trying to make sure she had 3 of each. Yeah, I gotta get the picture where she's actually wearing it though, because it's kind of hard to, it's kind of like a shrug style, like kind of loose and oversized. Yeah. So I think mine will be even a little bit more oversized than that, because I think I kind of fell between her medium and her large measurement. So I'm going to make the large, which I want it to be really big and oversized, so I get a lot of overlap in the front. And she said, like, you can kind of pull it up over the shoulders more to get more overlap too.
I love it.
She said it has like a really interesting construction, so there's not really like a
long cast on.
Yeah, there's no like long cast on or long bind off. So I kind of have like a prediction of how I think it will work, but I'm curious to actually get into it. And she was screening people for sizes they wanted to knit, because she wanted.
Oh yeah, the testicle.
Yeah, about 3 people per size. And then she also wanted to know what yarn you might use. So I floated out a couple of ideas, and she wanted me to go with the Moonchild colorway from Casual Fashion Queen.
Okay.
I was like super happy because I
didn't make the list.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said
I'm pretty sure I made the list. And
if you're talking colors with her.
Well, you had to post your colors in the Ravelry thread, so she could see beforehand. I think it's just so she gets like a range.
Right.
So that, which is actually kind of nice, because, you know, there's times when like I go to the project pages to see, and if all that's there is the people who tested and they all used black, it's like, it's harder to envision it in a different colorway, you know? So that's my guess, is that she's trying to get like a range so that people can see it in a lighter color and a darker color, you know, something more speckly, something less speckly. So there's just options. So anyways, yeah, I will have that next time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was like, oh, if I had yarns like that weren't already dedicated to other things, I totally would go in on that test knit too, or like try to, you know, get on the list for it. But I'll just be first in line when it's published.
Yeah. I'm also interested to see the construction because I want to see if there would be a way to do it with, say, 3 not matching skeins, if that makes sense. So like
3 skein. Did you say that already?
Well, sorry, it depends on
The size.
Size, yeah. So it's more than 3 skeins. I think the extra small / small size is like 3 skeins. The medium is like 4, and the large is like 4, almost 5, like depending. So my Moonchild colorway is an oversized hank that I bought from Casual Fashion Queen. So it's 1,000 yards. So I need another at least.
I was gonna say it's relative. What you said, I was thinking like a small skein or like an average skein or what?
Well, I'm saying it like average skein of about 400 yards. I think small medium's like 1,200, and then it's like 1,400 and 1,500 or something like that. So it would depend obviously on the size of your skeins and what you're using and stuff like that, and gauge and all that. But yeah, so my Moonchild is 1,000 yard skein, and so I messaged Sheena from Casual Fashion Queen to say, do you have any more of this, or will you be adding more of this to your shop, because I'm going to need at least one more, because I figured one more, if it's like, I think I'm supposed to have 1,500 yards, and I figured if I get at least one more, very worst case scenario, maybe I have to do like a bind off, or I have to do an edging in just a white, because the Moonchild colorway is like mostly white with some orange and gray. Like a golden orange kind of color. So I'm like, worst case, I can just pull out like a plain white to fill in 100 grams. You know what I mean?
That would be my Sid's basement, and
that's DK, right?
Oh, right.
Or you could convert it to DK. You could do like the small, extra small in the DK, and then size up your needles, and you probably balance it out.
Maybe.
I don't know, you have to play with it. Anyways, so I'm excited for that, because I definitely want to have more knitted garments and things that I will actually wear, and I feel like that'll be really wearable. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you done with that?
Yes.
Okay. My next whip, which is approximately 2/3 done. I was just saying that because we were talking about that beforehand. Trying to figure out what would you say the fraction would be, the percentage of them would be. So this is a test for Tamu. It's pretty much going to look like this when it's finished. Then you start
wrap it around. Just keep wrapping.
No, you starch it, and then you kind of like stick it, and then you'll have these like wings on the back.
People won't hug you because you'll be such an awkward shape.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, Rue, our new kitten, bit through the yarn. So mad at him.
Oh, no.
Loves it when I'm knitting. You can see like as soon as I pull out the bag, his like pupils dilate. He's like,
you have to like make a little chunk of yarn that he can play with, and then throw it across the room.
He has yarns, but it's like it doesn't dance the same way as when I'm knitting with it, right? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. I'm gonna say this really quickly because I think every time I try to talk about him, he doesn't make the final cut because we were always over time. We have a new kitten. He was born in our garage. He was one of 4 kittens, and we adopted one of them. Anyhow, and he is a feisty, playful little thing. He's so cute. This is a test for Tamu, and we've talked about it before. It's the diamond back. So yeah, the top part, the back and top part is done. I just need the pieces underneath to.
Oh, it's like more like the
sides, whatever. But I mean, you can get the idea of it right now.
Yeah.
Do you like the colors?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Good. It won't sit quite like that. Once you have the under part, it kind of pulls the top down a little bit more. Because I felt like I did the same thing when I got the front of mine done, and I put it on. I was like, these sleeves are so like wingy. They almost look like shoulder pad wing type style. And I was like, no, it won't be like that once you attach it down.
I'm glad I'm remembering. I think that last time you mentioned you're gonna call for testers on this one.
Yeah.
Make sure, but I think I had to cut it because we were really long last time.
Yeah.
So say it again.
At some point, well, I think once you get yours done and we make any like final tweaks, then we can get it typed up kind of draft style. And we will hopefully be able, somebody, if you're interested, volunteer to test.
Yeah, even if it's just one other person, just to make sure it reads well for people. Sorry.
It's 3 skeins-ish, depending. You can absolutely, same thing like I said for the t-shirt, you can absolutely customize it to your size, but obviously bigger or smaller will affect yardage, so you'll have to figure that out. It is crocheted, and I would say like, not even really, I don't know, between an advanced beginner and an intermediate. So there's not a lot of like complicated stitches. There's a lot of repeating, and it's basically like mostly single crochets. It's just more of like where to put them.
It's all single crochets. It's just where to put them.
Yeah. And a little bit of seaming, and that's it. So if you think you might be interested, if you have 3 skeins that you would like to put to a diamond back. So for both of ours, we used like a gradient-ish self-patterning. We use Freya fibers for ours, but you could use any fingering weight that you like. Or fingering or a sport, I think would work well, because I feel like that Freya, it's classed as a fingering, but it's a little bit plump for a fingering. So a sport could work well as well. Yeah, 3 skeins. So we did the back as a self-patterning and then the front/side all solid. But you could totally do what you want. I'm working on another one using Koigu that I think I showed last time, where my back, I striped like 5 different colors across the back. That all had like similar colors in them. And then for the front, I am kind of almost doing like a gradient fade type thing, because I just had some like different bits and bobs. So I did like a little gray at the top, and then I went into a purple, and then going into a different purple. So it's definitely, you could play around with colors and placement and stuff. But yeah, if you crochet and you're interested in hearing more about testing, that would be great. Let us know.
Yeah, put in
messages here, or message me through Ravelry. Either or. Any more whips on your side?
Not that I've knit on since our last podcast.
The only other thing I really wanted to show, I think I had shown, I showed the birthday flamingo thing last time, I think.
Yeah, but I can't think.
Pretty sure I did. I think it was just a triangle, and I was trying to like drape it across to show you what it will kind of look like. Yeah, I think at that point it was just a triangle. So I brought this with me to camping. I got it to a point that it would just be in the round, so it would be easy car knitting. So I think last time it was just the bottom triangle, and now I have the cowl part attached. So I'll show you.
Who's the designer?
Me.
Oh, you're designing this. I'm like, something is familiar, but not at the same time.
So the goal was to have it look like a shawl that's been draped around, but without the effort of actually draping the shawl around. Yeah, and then it's brioche and a bit of garter. So this is that triangle that I had started with, and there's some short rowing in there to kind of add like other wedges of fun. You could do it this way, you could do it this way. Mm-hmm. And then I'm starting on the cowl part. So I know for sure once it blocks out, the cowl part's going to get quite wide, but I still have like quite a bit of yarn left. So this just needs to get like to like too tall, so that when it collapses down, it has that appearance of like extra bulkiness around your, like extra fabric around your neck, like it's a whole shawl, but in a cowl-y kind of state.
Yes.
And I just like, the camera's blowing it out like crazy, but it's the birthday flamingo colorway from Hello Stella, and it's so great. It's so great. You have to see it in real life. The pink is so bright, and then the speckles, and there's like sections of white that are like pinked out by the bleeding of the pink, but then there's still enough like white in there that it's just beautiful. And it's a single ply, which is usually not my favorite, but in this particular application, I like it. Anyways, so this was some of my car knitting to and from camping, because it was just straight brioche in the round. One color brioche in the round. The only other thing I was going to show you is my fiber share package.
Oh, cool.
I'm planning to post a picture. I'm a terrible fiber share buddy. And actually, my share E got her package. Well, it messaged me today that her package arrived.
That's awesome.
Her package arrived. I was very nervous about that one because I think I mentioned before that the person I was sharing to is in Australia. And I was like, oh my God, what if it doesn't make it? It's nerve-wracking sending things overseas. I was like, I don't want her to be disappointed and not get a package.
Yeah.
She was like, I got the package, it arrived. She had said something about how she's had a Canadian buddy before, so she likes maple leaf flavored things. So I included a little chunk of maple fudge and some other maple candy thing. Oh, it was like, I think it was like maple popcorn or something like that. And then, yeah, I didn't even take a picture of my package because that's how bad I am. Anyways, so there was like yarn and stitch markers and all the usual stuff, but that was my extra bonus. So she was saying, I guess her mom had visited Canada before as well and liked maple stuff too. So
what's her name on Instagram?
Skein Sagas. I don't think she posted a picture either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyways, I don't know if she's planning to. Anyways, I thought this was a cute addition. When we went to the mailbox, it was really funny actually because it just happened to be a day that the boys were home. Because I think it came like the day after the last day of school or something like that maybe. Or maybe after we got back from camping. Anyways, whatever. The boys were home, so I walked them down to the mailbox with me. And there just happened to be this package and there was something else. Now, what was the other thing? Oh, this dress that I ordered. Anyway, so they were like fighting over who gets to carry the package and who gets to carry the box. It's just like, these are so funny. Anyways, it was cute. So, got this mystery skein, which I should actually message my sharer, Lindsay, and see if she knows what this one is. I really like it. I'm just not sure what the material is. It sort of feels like merino, but something about it has like a little bit of a halo to it that is kind of reminding me of BFL, so I'm not totally sure, but it's like a lot of black and then bits of other colors, which I love. I'm happy about that. And this one is a self-striping from Cozy Knitter called Summer Lovin'. So I had to go, I went and looked on the Cozy Knitter's website because she does have, even if she doesn't have the colorway like available in her shop, she does have a page where it has all her colorways and the little like computer generated sock swatches that she makes that show stripes. So this was really fun because it's like kind of gentle colors, but then that really neon pink in there. It looks really cute. And another one from the Cozy Knitter. This one's called Sweetheart. And this one I was like, I don't recognize this. This one was one of her club colorways. So I don't know if Lindsay was in the club or if she acquired it from someone else as well. But I was like, ooh, like I do love things that are exclusive. So even though I don't subscribe to a lot of clubs, I'm like, I enjoy the clubs where it's like, I enjoy the idea of the clubs where it's like, this is a colorway that's only for the clubs. And I think when I looked this one up, it won't be available. Like eventually she adds the club colorways into her regular colorways, but she waits like a good chunk of time. So I think if I'm not mistaken, it said on her website, like this would be part of her regular collection in like 2019. So I was like, ooh, exclusive. It's called Sweetheart. So I might use this as a, because I think it was her like the February color of the club. So I think I might make myself Valentine's socks finally. After that Valentine's sock debacle. Yeah, anyways, so that's that. And then these ones, Lorna's Laces the base is called Haymarket. It's 100% BFL. And I think it's a 4. So I don't know if it's worsted or DK. I would say it's probably worsted. And the colorway is called Lookbook. It's like they're really pretty, nice, like soft colors.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
And I don't think I've ever knit anything with Lorna's Laces before, so I'm kind of interested to try that. And then these I love. They're so cute. Mini skeins. So Space Cadet, who dyes these, has this mini skein club where it's like a continuous gradient. So if you say subscribe for the whole year, each bundle should keep going together. Like you could knit something starting from colorway 1 all the way to whatever number in the last part of the year, and it should keep going in this like continuous gradient, which I think is like friggin' awesome.
Really fun blanket.
You can hop in at any time and buy in any place, and then if you want to keep going, you can keep going, and it's not like, you know, it's not like you get this and then the next colorways are going to be like totally off the wall, and then you're like, oh, what am I going to do with all these weird little bundles? Like you could actually keep using them together, or, you know, maybe I don't like a certain part of this, but it works with the rest of them, so I can like arrange them in different orders. You can do whatever you want. Anyways, so I think these ones were, yeah, so they're actually numbered too. So it's like, this is color 4, 5, 3. So it's like, you know what order. So it's like whatever the last color is, then the next one from the next batch should go with it. Anyways, so I think these were from the 2017 colorways, but I just think it's a really cool idea. Someday, maybe I will participate.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. See you in 2 weeks.
See you again in 2 weeks.
Like and subscribe.
Comment if you want to test on the Diamondback. What do you want to call that? Swancho? No, obviously not.
I think I was calling it like a cocoon.
Cocoon. That's it.
Type thing.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Yarn on.
See you next time.
Yarn on.
I had another Sister Cal idea too. Not for now. I'll tell you after. Okay. Yarn on, people.
Yarn on.
Bye.